Welcome to the recovering addict. Hey, what you guys were just hold on, let me rock my mask just for a little bit. Just for a little bit because I really cannot breathe in this thing at all. I cannot. But I really don't want to take it off because I had a scuffle. I had an issue earlier with a cat. And I'm not talking about a woman. I'm talking about actual cat. And and I really, I'm using this mask is not for or for celebrating. This mask is actually to cover what my issue. But hey, this is the relapse.
Wait, what's
And
it covered? What's
uh, uh,
what's
well,
underneath the
well,
mask?
well. No, hold on. Yes. So this is the recovering addict, guys. I am Richard. I am a recovering addict.
It
And
actually
I'm Brandon.
accents him a
I'm the
little bit.
recovering addict.
Hmm? What'd you say, B?
Hey,
What, Brandon?
what's
I
going
said
on?
I'm Brandon, and I'm a recovering addict.
Oh.
I'm Austin. I like long walks on the beach and tacos.
You
Okay.
look like you need more sun. I know that.
I walk on the beach at night.
uh,
Okay.
Mr.
I have
Michael, it's on
celestial
you.
cancer.
It's
Hey,
on
what's
you.
up? I'm Michael. I'm a recovering alcoholic.
Yeah, buddy. Okay. And this is Scary Stories, or more like Scary Bedtime Stories, is the name of this show. And what that my idea. See, I typically will put a script together. Hold on, wait a minute, hold on, guys, because this I can't breathe in this. Hold on one second. Hold on.
Yeah, and I can't hear you very well, so
I
it
thought it
is
looked
what it is.
good.
Oh, look at that! Look at that. Okay, now we got. Yeah.
I see
See,
what he was
I
hiding.
got, I got, I
so the
got.
the cat the cat one is what we're trying to say here, right?
Yeah, the cat won. I mean, I guess you could say that because
Cat. That
it won on my face, but it's buried somewhere
I understand.
behind my garage. Hey, so this is the recovering addict show, and I normally put a script together. I normally put a script. I'll send it over, to the guys. But today, I didn't want to do a script. I wanted to just say, if you got it, just screw it. Let's
Mhm.
just go off the top of our head. So that's what we're doing today, guys. We're going to have a little fun with this particular show. Okay, check out the black eye.
all right.
That cat has some real hands. I'm talking about
That
serious.
look
Look
like
at
a
it. Look.
cat. That thing, look at it.
Yeah,
It looks like
man.
a
Listen, I can't tell
velociraptor
you.
emoji.
I can't tell you the truth. Okay, that's my story, and I'm sticking with it. Okay, a cat did it. All right, a
A
cat
cat.
did it.
It's a big cat. It's a
Uh-huh.
really big cat.
It was a huge cat.
This is a huge
I'm
cat.
talking
That's like
about
a
straight out of the
Godzilla cat.
jungle cat.
Catzilla.
It definitely wasn't sprinkles, Austin. It definitely wasn't sprinkles. All
Oh
right,
boy.
Mr. Brandon. Hey,
Yes,
can you do
sir.
something for me, bro? Do something for me right
What
quick.
you need?
All right,
What you
do
need?
this for me right quick.
Yes, guys, absolutely. So we have a contest, $200 cash, $200 Amazon gift card for those of you that will go to our website and check it out. If you can't find the link, make sure you go to our website, therecoveringaddict.life. We want you to come visit. Also, go to our YouTube channel. Guys, it is so important that we get more subscribers. And listen, we're not
Mm-hmm.
trying to sell you something. It's not a gimmick,
No,
but it really helps us a lot for our
right,
outreach. It helps us to raise funds. It does all kinds of things. So even though it
right.
may not seem like much, we ask you to please go do that. And by the way, Rich, I did have something I wanted to say.
You got it.
This is what episode is this? Is this seventh,
Seven,
sixth,
seven, seven.
number
Mm-hmm.
seven? Lucky
Mm-hmm.
number seven. So
Mm-hmm.
guys, and just kind of in reference to the YouTube situation there, like I said with the subscribers, I don't. I know it's kind of hard to tell what we do, but I do want to say this: it's been a journey, and for those of you that don't know this, there has been a lot of money invested, a lot of time invested. People have volunteered their time. We've had a lot of people come on the show that have volunteered their time, gave their time away. We have
Right,
all kinds of people working on SEO.
right.
Special thank you out there to Ken, that has been one of our main guys in the financial side. We have family, friends, people that have all been a part of the process of helping us build this organization. We're in the middle of getting the paperwork squared away to help us to become an official 501c3 organization. We
Woo-hoo.
have a cash app out there.
Mm-hmm.
The recovering addict. Listen, we're not trying to just gimmickize this whole thing, but I do want to say that this costs a lot of money and a lot of time. So even if you can donate your time, we are all about it, and we would love to hear from you. If you work in this kind of field of recovery, rehabilitation, we want to hear from you. We want you to go to our website, send us emails. Involvement is how we're going to grow our family, and we consider you guys family. Guys, we get emails in the middle of the night for people saying, where do I go get help? I need help right now.
All the time.
And so all the time. And so, here's the thing, those kinds of things, that kind of help, it does. Unfortunately, money makes the world go round. Unfortunately, we need that. So, please be involved in any way you can. If you're broke, just like we are, then we understand. All we ask is that you just give us your environment. Not your environment, or your following.
Hold on, wait
so
a
you
minute.
can be a part of this family environment.
Did he just call me broke? You just called me broke? Oh,
yeah.
Man. See, now I gotta stop you right there, bro. Now I gotta stop. I mean, I know I probably got a couple of hundred in my bank account. What you think? That ain't broke.
Yeah.
That
No, not all of us are broke.
I'm flashy, bro.
Quit flexing,
okay.
bro.
So the organization is broke.
Oh,
not everybody on the show is broke. I'm broke, but
wait a minute.
You might not be broke.
So you saying the recovering?
You got a couple bucks?
Yeah, man. You send me your cash app, man. I'll send you.
We stay in a broke status because we're constantly bleeding, right? Yeah.
75 cents. I'll send you 75 cents. Is that possible?
Yeah.
Can you even go that low, cash app? Yeah, man.
It's a daily subscription.
I told Michael the other day, because he put a whole bunch of money on crypto. I said, "Hey man, can you give me $5 till my hunchback brother straightens out, or what's up?" And he was like, "What does that mean?"
Oh my goodness gracious. Well, so let's see here. How are we going to start this thing today, guys? I figure that we would think about our struggle with addiction, and of course, everyone knows that an addict goes through some shit. Okay, it is very tough when you're a true full-blown addict. You're going to experience some things, you're going to see some things, and that is what we wanted to bring out today. We wanted to kind of scare some people away from addiction. Okay, but before I do that, you guys I need to talk to the audience right quick, guys. I never fully introduced Austin, and I never fully introduced Brandon. Okay, so I want to do that right now. Austin Brooks is the guy with the sapphire hat on right there. He is a longtime friend that has worked on a few projects with me in regards to music, shows. He's done a lot, and I'm thankful to have him on this particular show because he's just a producer. Like, he knows how to make things look good. He's just the man. And Brandon Friendship, I mean, y'all probably don't know, but me and Brandon Friendship's been brother. He is basically my brother from another mother, for sure. So I wanted to just basically show you guys some love. And Mr. Michael, thank you so much for hopping on the show with us today. I can't wait to get into your story, your actual story. Okay, so let's start this thing off. Let's kick it off. I could kick it off, but do you guys got any memory? Oh, wait, I forgot. Hold on, wait a minute. I got a couple guys that wanted to join the show with us right quick. Hold on one second, please. Forgive me. Hey, how y'all doing over there? Hey, guys.
Rich, what is this?
Two dead addicts decided to join the show today.
Yeah, they're a little late to this.
Well, listen, they just got here. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You can't blame it on them. They're dead. You feel me? So, Brandon, you have a story ready? A couple of stories ready?
Scary stories that happened to me?
You're not ready. Austin.
Is that what you're asking me?
Yeah, he's not ready. Let's go ahead and skip. Let's skip him. Austin.
Listen, Rich. Okay, hey, listen. I see what you're doing. You're deflecting right now. What everyone wants to know is the story. What happened to your face?
Oh no, El Guapo! Don't do that, El Guapo. Come on, bro. All right.
That's what everyone's wanting to know.
All right. So basically, I was talking some shit to the wrong person. Okay. and I was coming out of a Shell gas station, and this person pulled up and was like, "Hey, man, can I get some money to, get myself back to Oklahoma?" And I was like, "Oklahoma? You're a long way from home. Is you know what I'm saying?" So, anyways, I gave him $5, right? And he was like, "Just $5?" I was like, "Bro, beggars can't be choosy. Come on, man. Come on, bro. Seriously, $5. There you go. Say thank you." Man, I ain't got to say a damn thing. You know what I'm saying? And then he punched me. He just socked me right there in the face. And then his crazy wife or girlfriend came out of nowhere and just slashed me. Bam, did the Freddy Krueger all up on my face like that. So basically, I got into a fight at Shell with some people that were trying to bum some money from it, basically. And
wow.
Well, now here's the thing about
That's a really, really, really bad
now,
story.
here's the thing about it. You see. You got to understand what happened to them, though. You know what I'm saying? Me, I'm a lover. I'm not a fighter.
Yeah, you
know what I'm
see
saying?
the other guy.
Yeah. I called the cops. I called the cops. You know what I'm saying? I called the cops. Cops came. It's funny. It's very funny. I mean, like they normally take a long time, but they swoop right on in, whoop whoop whoop, and got them. You feel me? So right now they're in jail. Right now they're in jail for doing this to your boy, the recovering addict. And hey, that's my story. Okay.
Hey.
All right.
Alcohol is just a terrible thing.
It is.
Believe it or not. I mean, and it kind of looks.
It looks bad.
It does, huh? I'm horrible at this Halloween stuff. Ain't I? Hey, two dead addicts. How y'all doing over there?
You're gonna have to make sure you coach these addicts because these two dead addicts because they're not letting us get a word in edgewise. They're way too quiet. So.
Nah, they just spilling it out. That's what they do. They filling it out. They got some stories to share, truthfully. Okay, so let's go into this doggone thing now. Brandon, I gave you some time. I came up with that doggone story to give you some time so that you can share a story. Okay, as horrible as the story was.
Well, this may not be scary. This may not be scary to you guys, but this is something that happened to me in the club years ago whenever I was really messed up.
Oh shit!
And for those of you that know the Dallas area, I was in the Lizard Lounge.
Oh shit!
And I was all dressed to the nines. I'd gone up there. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So I'm out of my mind on all kinds of stuff at the time. And never had my wallet lifted in my life until I got to the Lizard Lounge. And went to the bathroom. I was barely able to stand up, and this guy lifted my wallet while I was in the bathroom. Because as soon as I walked out, I kind of tapped the back, looking for my wallet. Bam, he got me while I was at the urinal. And I remember that night was a blur. And I remember I took off out of the club in the middle of the night in downtown Dallas, which is a very dangerous place, especially at that time of night. I'm like running breakneck speed, trying to be on my phone, calling Bank of America in the middle of the night, asking them to help me, shut off all my cards as fast as I could. Wasn't sure how I was going to get home. Didn't know if I had gas in my car. I mean, I was like freaking out, thought I was going to be stranded. And it was probably the scariest thing that's ever happened to me under the influence because I didn't have all my faculties together, and I was sort of in a panic and paranoia state. So it was pretty messed up. That's probably the scariest thing that's ever happened to me. And they didn't get any money from me, so which is pretty cool. I caught it in time.
Who jacked somebody with their penis out, just peeing like that, dog?
Well,
how did you not notice
genius.
this guy standing behind you?
It was genius. I had these fancy dress pants on. No, seriously, I had these fancy dress pants on, and when you're at the urinal, your pants are kind of loose. So he was smart enough to come up behind me and pop my wallet out of my back pocket just right without me even feeling it because everything was hanging loose. If I'd have had my pants on and he was in like tight, I would have felt it. So he was smart enough to swoop in.
Oh my God.
No, not down. They were just loose around my waist.
Yeah, you don't pull your pants down when you're doing the urinal.
I'm not three.
Come on.
He's like Butters from South Park.
However, I have seen that. I've seen a grown man go in and drop his pants, which is just the weirdest thing. I just darted right back out.
And they're sword fighting.
I don't know what was going on there, but yeah.
Sword fighting and stuff. stuff. Huh?
funny.
Oh my goodness.
No.
That's
scary.
that's super weird. I don't know. Is this
Yeah,
is this
it is
weird
weird.
bedtime stories or scary bedtime stories? Because that's
It
just
was
horrible.
scary to me. That's why I said I
Yeah,
don't know if you guys have seen it scary.
you're damn right. You damn. I can see you. I can see you right now making all those damn drunk, making calls to
Yeah.
Bank of America. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's not.
I had to get all new IDs, everything. It was a mess, but
That's
yeah.
not fun. That's not fun. Okay, well, come up with another one, and we'll get back to you. Mr. El Guapillo, you got something for me? Hey, man, what's that in the background over there, El Guapo? What's that back there behind you?
License
Who is that?
plates.
That's your girlfriend? Is that your girlfriend?
Yeah.
Oh, that
You
woman
never
back
met her?
there? Like, yeah.
I thought y'all used to talk.
Nah. I see you like them old, huh? You like them cougars, huh? Because she looked like she got. I can see her wrinkles from here.
Once you go gray.
Oh my goodness. Okay, let's go El Guapo.
She takes those teeth out, you know, and it's
Oh my
something special, bro.
Oh, see, this is what I want. There you go. Okay, go ahead and hit us with the story, big bro.
Oh man, well, it's kind of a long story though, man. I don't know if we got time.
Gosh.
I don't know.
Well, can you chop it up for us?
Yeah, I can try to break it down for you. So,
or do you? Go ahead.
So, I'm on the plane. It sucks. The seating sucks. This lady next to me sucks. She's a total Karen. She pushes the attendant button like 20 times. We have to sit on the tarmac for like 3 hours. The flight's delayed, so I get another 3 hours sitting next to Kay, and she is. It's just frustrating. Like I'm just trying to get to my Airbnb. And while finally we get off the plane and I have to get an Uber ride, and there's like this weird like Uber strike thing going on. So I literally have to pay almost $100 to go for like a 15-minute ride to my Airbnb. Yeah. But I had no other choice. So, whatever, we go.
Yeah.
So we get to the house, and then I grab my bags out, and the Uber guy just speeds off.
He does what?
Thanks for making sure he just takes off, Yeah. So like I get all my stuff out of the car, and so I'm over here struggling trying to get into the gate, trying to push in the keys and everything like that, and push the button, and I'm just struggling with it. I'm getting so frustrated. I'm about to call the owner of the property. Yeah. And as I finally I get the code, I push it in, like a gate opens, and there's this extremely detailed note of of instructions, it's like how to get in the back gate, like stay on the path, like don't disturb the neighbors, the key for the glass doors is on the top, lock it when you leave, don't disturb the neighbors, like I said it twice. I'm like, so I walk in, it's normal room, good bed, closet, all that stuff, it's got a little folding table there, just make it look like a desk. But I open the bathroom door and I go walk in and I lift up the toilet seat, and there's toilet paper in the bowl. It's bloody toilet paper in the bowl, and so I'm like disgusted, like I almost want to puke, but I had to pee so bad, so I just peed, whatever, and whatever. So I went to go wash my hands, and I noticed that there's like this kind of brown crusty stuff on the mirror. And then I look around and there's more on the counter in the faucet, and like I realize it's like dried blood. I'm like, what is going on? And so I couldn't really, after the plane ride and after the long day and everything, I was just completely exhausted. So I laid down for 5 minutes, and next thing I know, I open my eyes and it's my alarm clock's going off, and it's the next morning. So I go to my early appointment. Actually, I didn't change it for the time changing, so it actually went off 2 hours earlier. So I thought I was late, and actually I wasn't. So it worked out, but it freaked me out in the morning. I go to take a shower. I turn on the faucet, and like this brown clumpy stuff like comes out of the faucet, and I'm like, what? And instead of like water, and all of a sudden like it gets hot and it starts turning clear, and the water runs out fine, and I'm just like, there's something off about this place. I don't know what's going on. But
where was this Airbnb at?
Detroit.
In Detroit? Okay.
I'm just kidding.
Oh man. Oh, you're throwing slugs now. Okay.
Oh, it was actually 1208 Courtney Lane.
Oh no, he did not just give my old address.
No, that's an Airbnb right there.
Oh man, yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, that's what it was.
right.
You have to forgive him for not cleaning up the bathroom.
We're gonna stop you right there because that's just wrong, bro.
We should. You know what?
Yeah, that's just wrong,
There's more
bro.
to this, but I'm going to save it for next week. Okay. There's
Okay.
a follow up. There's a act two.
Man.
You know, and we'll come back to it. And
you got something, Mr. Dallas?
Hey, everybody. You know, and this one comes to mind. It was actually, I'd gotten sober at this point, but I hadn't really changed anything in my life, if you will. So I was hanging with a drug dealer, and he had gotten arrested that day. And I was like, I actually had to call the city because I thought he was punking me. And they go, no, we actually do have this guy in custody. I'm like, oh crap. So I'm going all
he gets
over the
like
place.
one phone call and he lets you know that he's in jail. You're like, I don't believe you.
You know, I called the city. I'm like, well, he calls me from his car. He's getting pulled over. He's like, I'm going to jail.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Okay,
what?
I was like, his one phone call. Like,
No. He just called me. I'm like, so I had to go all the way around, you know, from Dallas to McKinney, yada yada yada. He's in Allen to get different paperwork, different things going on. It took forever, but it's like middle of the night, and his cousin, you know, it was unrelated. The being stopped had unrelated to drugs, I think. Anyway, but he his cousin was on something high as a kite, and all of a sudden he couldn't find his black book. Now, this is not for women. This is for dealers that his clients, and he seriously could not find it. High as a kite, stoned out. I mean, just out of it, and he is going off on me, and my friend's in jail, and he's like, "I'm gonna find my gun. I'm gonna shoot your butt."
Damn.
You know, he's like, "I'm just gonna shoot you. We're gonna be done with this. Where's my gun?" I'm like, I did not take your book. Where is it? Where's my book? And I'm like, oh crap. I'm like, I'm sober and I'm about to die. But I hadn't really done anything different in my life at the time. And all of a sudden, and somehow Michael ends up getting on the phone. And he's like, dude, chill out. I'm like, dude, I'm like, this is kind of freaking me out. He's like, calm down. It'll be all right. Somehow I ended up walking away from it. But I mean, he's used to carrying pistols and all that. I mean, and I'm not far from being done, you know, and I eventually walked over and said, okay, it wasn't long after that, our friendship kind of ended. So,
that's a good thing.
It was a
Time to
catalyst.
call it a day.
That'll do it.
Seems we have reached an impasse.
Okay, so let's see who. Oh, the Two Dead Addicts. Y'all got a story?
They did.
Yeah, buddy. No stories from the day. Okay, all right. We'll get back to you guys, Two Dead Addicts. Let me see if I can conjure up one now, something that's real instead of me talking about how I got my ass whooped at a doggone Shell and shit. Yeah. So, of course, I was. Can I say fucked up on the show?
I don't think you just did.
Okay. All right then. Yes, I was totally out of it. And I was with my ex-girlfriend and another friend. And me, him, and her, we met this girl at the club, and this girl had a hotel. So all three of us go back to the hotel with her. We're in the hotel, and we, you know, just chilling, having a good time, relaxing, playing music, getting even more fucked up. And out of nowhere, we get this knock on the door, and the girl says, "Oh shit, I think that's my boyfriend." So she opens the door, and my friend runs, literally, like, we're fucked up. He runs out of the actual hotel, runs out as her boyfriend is coming in with a pistol pointing at us. And my ex-girlfriend
she just likes to talk. She was just a talker, shit talker. What you gonna do with that? You ain't gonna do nothing with that. Literally egging this guy on. So it's me, my ex-girlfriend, my homie has ran out, and her, and he's pointing this pistol at me and my ex-girlfriend, talking about shut the fuck up or it's about to go down. So I'm literally, I can't go, I can't run. I'm fucked up. And somehow her the girl, calmed him down to the point where he put the gun down, and we were able to actually be cool with each other after that. But it was sitting there for about 5 minutes with this gun pointing straight at you, fucked up, and he's just waving the gun like, you better shut her up, bro, because it's about to go down. That right there is one scary story that I will never forget. So that being said, guys, if you're watching this show and you have a story in regards to addiction, or just a scary story period, or just a story period, hey, share it on our feed, and we will share it here on the show right now. Let's get back into this thing. So, overdosing. I don't know, Michael, alcohol was your thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think anybody can overdose on alcohol. Is that possible? No.
Yes.
But is it?
Absolutely.
Really?
I actually did come close to that one time.
Really? How?
Yeah, I in fact,
blood poisoning, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I could not. Yeah, I don't know if we're one together right now, but yeah, I've had it to where I came close. I don't know how close I was, aside from the fact that I ended up in a blackout and then woke up or came to, I want to say an hour later, 2 hours later, whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I did an experiment that didn't go exactly how I expected. I knew I would get drunk. I just didn't expect it to go quite severe. So,
Brandon, you ever overdosed?
Come pretty close, yeah.
Come pretty close.
Two or three times where I've been
it's overdosing is growing in society. I actually was taken to the hospital a few times for being right there on the edge of overdosing. So I got to that point where, like, I literally could not move, heart beating fast, can't move, and shaking and shivering and stuff. So what they did, this has happened a few times. They took me to the actual ER. I had friends take me to the ER, and they pumped me in, some fluids in me. I do remember one time I was dating. A lot of my stories have ex-girlfriends in them. I have a lot of ex-girlfriends. That sucks. Anyways, I remember one time.
He speaks the truth.
I remember
this is when the real scary story starts.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know. Hey, yeah. I had a friend or an ex-girlfriend or whatever when we started, and this is when I was in religion hard. I was in it hard, and we started dating, and she took me up to one of her friends. A friend took me to the hospital where one of her friends was laying, and the girl had been in this particular coma for I think 2 weeks. No, more like 7 days or something like that. And we're in there praying for her, and she had popped a bunch of pills and actually tried to kill herself. I don't know if she made it, because after that particular incident, after us going up there, me and the ex-girlfriend broke up, and I don't know if the girl made it or not, but it was an eye-opening thing to me to see somebody in that particular state, in that coma, and can't do anything about it. That'll change some things, even though it didn't. I still was doing my own thing, but yeah. So Austin, we're talking about overdosing. Have you ever overdosed?
No, I haven't.
You know anybody who ever overdosed?
Yeah, I know someone that committed suicide. I found someone that committed suicide by overdose on purpose, though. Like
On
they had a
purpose.
note and everything.
Wow.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember.
it was like
You
a
remember
last hoorah type thing, you know.
Mm-hmm. Go
Rich,
ahead,
you
B.
remember. You remember. Actually, you and I were there for this one. Speaking of ex-girlfriends,
Mm-hmm.
you remember the one day we were roommates and we came home and I was dating that girl.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
So I don't even remember this girl's name. If you're watching, I'm sorry for outing you, but yeah, this was years ago. But okay, so this girl that I was seeing, I actually back in the day I went into the hospital because and they had me on suicide watch
Mm-hmm.
because I was going through a whole bunch of stuff. This was years ago. Well, they had interviewed me and brought officers in, and they were like, hey, we have to ask you some questions because I had gone in there under like severe depression and everything. And they, of course, by law, they have to ask you all these questions. They're like, do you want to kill yourself? I said, no, I don't want to kill myself. So I thought this is a weird formality, but that's just something they have to do by law. So, but they wanted to hold me there in this rehabilitation center over in Hearst. So I'm sitting there and this chick walks by and she's there. And I didn't know she was committed there, but she was there. And she and I started talking, and we ended up exchanging numbers. And when she got out and I got out, we started dating. But I didn't know
It was a committed relationship.
No, I didn't know how messed up this girl was. Like she
Toxic.
was bad messed up. It was horrible.
Mm-hmm.
And I had prescription drugs, and she come to find out she was dating me to get to my prescription.
Mm-hmm.
And so Rich, I had gone to sleep and taken a nap, and Rich walks in, and he was away from the house at the time. He walks in and wakes me up out of a dead sleep and is like, bro, what happened? And I was like, what are you talking about? And he goes, come here. And so he walks me into the kitchen, and the kitchen looks like a freaking tornado. Like somebody had started cooking brownies. But they didn't. They poured the eggs. They did all kinds of stuff, but they didn't finish. And then there was stuff everywhere throughout the house.
Rice and
it
all
was
types
just
of stuff.
strange. It was stuff all over the place. The kitchen looked like a nightmare.
Yeah, right.
And there was stuff thrown around everywhere. And he goes, dude, did somebody break in? And we're like, I don't know. We don't see the door looks
break
closed.
In and try to cook food.
And we're all over the place trying to figure out what happened because it was like nobody stole anything. It's just weird looking, Right. And so he's looking, and I'm looking in my room. We didn't see anything. Well, anyways, finally he goes, bro, come here. And we go, and he opens his closet, and that girl has her head down inside of a pile of clothes, and she's sleeping. She's out of it, passed out with her head down inside of clothes, and with her butt sticking out. She's just out of it. Yeah. And we thought, oh no, is she dead? And so we called the police. And the ambulance was sent out. Her parents showed up, and they're like, "We're really sorry. She does this," and I'm like, "She does this," And then they said, "Yeah, she witnessed her brother. He killed himself in front of her," and it was really a sad story. Yeah. But man, that was the weirdest thing we'd ever experienced. It was so weird, She had taken a cigarette box and stuffed. Oh my goodness! Like Xanax down inside it where the cigarettes were, so that I wouldn't see where they were. I mean, it was the weirdest thing. So,
it was super weird. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Okay, so the show is over. No, I'm just playing. So all right. So before we get into Mr. Michael's story. And I just want to talk to the audience a little bit, guys. Once again, and Brandon does a good job of saying this. We do appreciate you guys watching. We appreciate your support. Okay, if you want to share a story, or if you want to be on the Recovering Addict podcast, all you have to do is email us, or you can actually message us through Facebook, through Instagram. Okay, we have a lot of people who are trying to be on the show, and we want to get everybody on the show. Our job, our goal is to help. We want to be a support system within the community in regards to addiction, in regards to mental health. So our goal is to bring addicts and non-addicts on this show to share stories of addiction and share stories of recovery. Okay, so that is the main purpose of the Recovering Addict. All right. Now, of course, this show we're just playing around with it, but I wanted to make that point in regards to the Recovering Addict podcast. Once again, if you want to be on this show, please message us. We'll get you on this. Okay, let's go back.
Another thing is we're constantly, Rich. Don't forget, bro. Like we are very much on the constant lookout for talent. That has to do with anything from graphic design to animation to CGI stuff to. We are looking to partner with some people to help some of these projects we have going on, and we just. Basically, the best way to do it is to bring everyone up with you as you grow. So we want to bring some people up with us as we grow, and we need some help. So if you have a talent, if you are a superstar at something, please let us know what it is, and we'll see if we can collaborate.
For sure. Let's okay. All right. So let's go back into some questions because I had pulled some questions out. Favorite Halloween candy back in the day. Did y'all eat candy corns?
No.
Y'all didn't eat candy corn. Did you eat candy corn, Brandon?
That's more of like no.
Barely, no, I didn't like
y'all
them.
Didn't?
Really?
Oh my goodness. I couldn't stand
It's like something
it.
if you go to like it's like you go to your aunt's house and there's always a bowl by the door or something, but like it's never.
Yeah, and I couldn't stand it. I don't know why people would pass those things out. They're so disgusting. Candy corn. What's your favorite candy?
They taste stale starting out.
Candy corn. Hold on, you like candy corn, Dallas?
I'm good with that. I'm good with candy corn.
Oh no, come on, man. I don't know what that is, but it can't be candy. That's something else.
Yeah, I like Reese's.
Okay, half the stuff you ingest is not food.
I understand this. This is
straight sugar.
You're gonna take issue with the candy corn.
Candy corn should be an abomination.
Favorite candy. Favorite candy.
What is it?
So my favorite candy is not candy corn. I think Reese's.
No.
You guys remember?
Stuff?
You guys remember Juicefuls back in the day? That was my favorite candy. You remember Juicefuls?
What is that?
They were called Juicefuls. They were these like hard candies that had a real fruit juice in the center, and oh my god, they were good. I could eat those things till I was sick to the stomach. You remember the little strawberry ones with the green top on them? They were I love those too. I love that kind of candy.
They couldn't have been that good because neither one of us know what it is, bro. They ain't that popular.
I guess
I like candy, bro. Like I feel like I would have heard of it.
Exactly. Like they sound like they had a limited time on the shelf, and they was like, "Nah, we got to pull these out."
Quite a few years.
A few years. Yeah, they wasn't that good. It does sound like some stuff you would eat. Okay. Let's see here. Let's continue on. All right. So I got another question. Favorite superhero movie. Yeah. The Dark Knight is definitely mine. Yeah,
y'all the Green Hornet.
What?
Oh my God, you would.
Hold on, wait a minute. Did you just really disrespect the show like that?
Okay.
Cut his feed.
I gotta top the Dark Knight. I'm not top the Dark Knight.
You go? How you can't? You can't.
Yeah, no, I was kidding. The Green Hornet was absolutely terrible.
Superman,
the original Superman. Yes. Back in the 70s.
Yeah.
Yes.
When they basically didn't have much CGI, and whenever he looked like he was flying, like you could literally see the rope.
Hey, it's legit. They were real deal back then.
Oh, Brandon, which is yours? And Brandon, you cannot take mine because I know you were about to say The Dark Knight.
You made it very difficult on me like
I know.
that. But I'd say Deadpool.
Nice. El Guapo, come on, man. Don't do the Green Hornet stuff again, bro. What you got? Come on, bro. Come on, bro.
Man, no.
Don't you say Deadpool too, because that's not fair.
I mean, you got a bunch. You got Endgame out there. Go ahead.
No, so any Avengers were like awesome.
All of them. But Endgame was the one.
Watching like those. Endgame was good.
Yeah, but
Yeah, all of those. I could pretty much sit down and watch any of those anytime. Like, I like those a lot.
So what y'all telling me is that The Dark Knight don't top all of them. That's what you're saying. I know y'all know that. Oh,
I mean,
come on.
it's good.
Okay.
It doesn't top that.
No. So check this out. Let me show you how I know it.
But the Joker has topped everything.
No,
but
it hasn't.
Not what you could call
No.
Performance-wise, that's.
I mean,
there's nothing.
Wait, are you
better
talking?
than the Joker.
Wait, hold on. Which one are you talking about?
He's talking about Jacqueline Phoenix.
Walking Phoenix.
Yeah, I said Jacqueline.
Jacqueline
Phoenix. Joaquin Phoenix.
Joaquin Phoenix. Yeah.
My bad. Hey man, I said
there's not
how
a better
it looks.
Performance than that.
I said no. Wait, hold on. Wait. Now we're getting serious right now. Okay.
But that's a villain though.
So. No. Joaquin Phoenix Joker was great. But I still kind of put Heath Ledger's Joker like right a little bit on the top of that, just a little bit. Now Joaquin made it his own.
I was way more entertained. I was way more entertained by the Dark Knight with Heath Ledger's Joker. Like, dude, the other one, Joaquin, he did a great job, but it was at the same time it was kind of depressing. Like, it was like, man, okay, I get where he's coming from, but now I kind of wanted to see the rest. Like, I wanted to see him. Besides start that riot there at the end, I wanted a lot more, and it was all just like story.
Mm-hmm. So okay, all right. Well, I got you. Well, check this out. Before we get into his story, okay, I was thinking about this, and I was thinking about dreams, okay, and Brandon, we were talking about this earlier, and I was like, do I really want to bring this up on the show? Should I? Can I?
No, I really don't think it fits. No,
I mean, I think you should save it. Save it for the next one.
Oh, it doesn't fit.
That's after party stuff right there, bro.
Oh my god!
Keep it family show, dude. Keep it.
It is. It is. It is
not. It is not.
God,
God love you. It's not family.
That's after party.
Listen. We are in a couple of shows. We have an episode, and it's going to be about sex addiction. And made that is going to be a real serious show. We're going to get
that does need to be in that, and we will.
That needs to be in that one. Damn! Yes, I was excited about sharing it. Okay, well, hey, let's go ahead and get back into the actual stories. Then, all right, Mr. Dallas, I'm gonna ask you a couple of questions. Okay. Yeah. When did your addiction take hold and you knew that, man, I'm an addict and I need to do something about, my addiction. I need to go into recovery. When did you notice that?
Well, that's it's a good question. So, I had started drinking when I was 13, but it wasn't like daily drinking, right? I would say I knew I started having an issue in my late teens. Because I was working a graveyard shift, and I would, I basically said I had 2 happy hours because I'd get home in the morning and drink to go to sleep, and then I'd wake up in the afternoon, have a few beers, and so I kind of noticed it a little bit. I would rationalize saying I'm young, it's no big deal. I could stop if I wanted to. I think inside of me, I knew I was something off just because of my thinking and how I handled. And then I was probably, I rationalized a lot. If I really got honest with myself, I'd say I had issues going on early in my mid-teens.
Really?
It was stuff I never wanted to admit.
Right.
I was like, I'll figure it out. It's going to work itself out.
Right.
I'm a kid, whatever. Right. And then I helped a friend of mine. What really kind of hit the skids about 6 months before I think it was probably 6 months before I got sober. I helped a friend of mine move, and he had like a case and a half of beer in this cooler, and I was only helping him out for about a couple hours each night. And then on like the 5th day, I'm like going for another beer, and I'm like, "Where's all the beer?" He goes, "You drank it all."
Wow.
And I realized I'm helping him move, and I am still able to consume basically in a day and a half time, case and a half of beer.
Yeah.
Without thinking, like water. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that definitely put an alert.
Yeah. It's funny that a lot of addicts, or I mean, most of the time when I hear an addict share their story, they always point out that they were in denial for a certain time before recovery. Right. It happened, of course, with me. I was in denial for a long time. Like, I did not understand how addicted I was at the beginning of my addiction.
Right.
And it prolongs, of course, it prolongs your recovery when you're in denial. That's one of the first steps. You have to actually admit that you're an addict. Right. So yeah, I mean, and I believe that if more people would actually do what we're doing, we're bringing it to to the front, and bringing it out in regards to addiction. A lot of people hide it. So not only do they deny, but they hide the fact that they're an addict. So they never really get an understanding about how to even move into recovery. So if you're listening to the show, man, if you are in denial in regards to your addiction, you may want to come to the front of the line, man, and work your recovery process, because recovery is great. Let's continue, Mr. Dallas. Let's continue. Okay, another question for you. When you started your recovery process, relapse is huge. Did you catch yourself relapsing a lot?
No, in fact, well, I would say I relapsed a ton prior to going into AA, because I would try it on my own, try different options, and my mind would always just be chaos. And the only way that I could shut the chaos was to drink. And when I got into AA, I mean, you hear about people relapsing all the time. I mean, I'd be sharing the meeting months in, and people would, here, I need a chip. Right. And people that I was, I mean, I got my butt kicked pretty hard prior to recovery. The short clip of my life was my dad passed before I was a year old. My mother had married a raging alcoholic from age 9 to 22, and I went through a lot of abuse except for sexual prior to coming in the doors. So when I came in, I was just ripped apart. Yeah. And full of anger, and I just didn't want to hurt anymore. Yeah. And I came in, I did what they said, 90 and 90. Meetings were 90 and 90. Yeah. And I told them, I can't do 90-90. Yes, I got this other thing going on Wednesday nights. Fine, double up on Monday night. Yeah. I'm like, well, why? He's like, you got anything better to do? They basically said, this is life and death. This is not the game. Yeah. Do you want to live? Right. And they were kind of really in my face, and they said, like the book talks about, we're not going to mince words here. Yeah. We're here to help people that want to help, want to live. Yeah. We're willing to do anything it takes to live.
Yeah. In recovery, a lot of people relapse, me being one of those people, relapse because I actually wasn't working the actual recovery process. Like, it's not something that you can just say, all right, I'm done drinking and I'm gonna go to this AA meeting and then I'm done. Like, I'm not gonna drink anymore. That is, if you're a true addict and you're not working some type of recovery process, you're going to relapse. And then I got to the point where I would relapse so much that I said, forget recovery. This is gonna be me for forever.
I want not to correct you.
No, you got it.
I want to be real clear that even when people are out there and not necessarily working it, right? They don't have to necessarily go out, right? It's that there is still an option that they're going to get in a dark place, right? And prior to that, picking up the phone and saying, "I'm not doing good." That. And it's picking up the phone going, yeah, I've been working this deal for, it doesn't matter how long. Could be 6 months, could be 6 years. And I'm struggling. Yeah. And because I got in a minor dark place at the end of last year, and I reached out to a friend of mine. Yeah. And he's like, okay, let's start get your butt back to meetings, on a physical meeting. So there's always the option. You don't have to.
No, you don't have to. No.
So
No. Me personally, like this show is a part of my recovery process. I believe that's why I came up with the idea for the Recovering Addict. I felt like, okay, I wanted to take me going to AA, going to NA. I wanted to take it a step higher than that, and literally, share my story along with other addicts. That's basically we're doing what people do in AA, in NA. You know what I'm saying? And so this is a part of me working my recovery. This particular show has helped me in my recovery. And so, I mean, go ahead and share, man. Like, I wanted to ask a couple of questions, for people who are watching in regards to, your recovery. But I mean, go ahead and share if you want to take the floor and just, let us know about your story.
For me, I mean, the short version of my story really is I hit the skids. There was nobody left. Someone had 12-stepped me. I call 12-stepping when people who've got experience in recovery, and then I was at work and they took me aside and said, "We think you have a problem." And because I had gone to a bowling tournament, and I mean, they knew I drank. I didn't really hide that necessarily, but who doesn't drink? Whatever. And I made it. I got completely smashed, and they saw that smash, and there were people like, I mean, I had a hard time finding the keyhole on my car to get my key and unlock the vehicle. This is before we had remotes. I'm like, crap. Okay. And I drove, and I made it to my house. I mean, you're talking normally a 45 minute drive, made it to the house in about 20 minutes. And because I had to be there to take care of some family, and I was so out of my mind, I passed out on the couch. And then, I when I realized I hit a bottom, I was driving home because someone said that a friend of theirs died in a blaze because he was drunk. He lit a cigar and the couch burned up around him.
Wow.
And so, I had driven home completely smashed, probably from, if you know Dallas, from 635 and Adelia to Carrollton, which is not a small commute. And it was raining out. And my bottom was, I went through, I got into Carrollton, coming over a hill, and I'd been to Al-Anon earlier that year, and I was like, okay, I went to Al-Anon. Don't you need to be in the other meeting? I'm like, no, I'm good. Went to Al-Anon. They kind of pissed me off because it seemed like they were talking about me. And so I went in, I blew the light, because if I hit the brakes, I probably would have rolled my car and hit the other person, because I was coming over a hill and I could not stop. And I blew the light, and I had the word powerlessness hit me going through that light. I'm like, oh, where did I hear that? I get home, I try to cook something, and I almost start a fire because the oven started, the fire alarm went off.
Yeah.
And the next day I tried drinking a few beers, and there was a game on, and I started feeling like maybe there's a problem. Maybe it really has gotten bad, and I was just in a horrible spot. And I'm like, okay, if they win the game, I'll finish the beer. If they don't, I'll dump it. If I have a problem with that, I'll go to a meeting. And I did. I went to a meeting. They lost the game. Pissed me off. And my first sponsor was pretty rough with me to some extent, I would say, just from the standpoint that I came in there thinking I'm all that in a bag of chips. I just need a little problem. I just have a problem with not drinking.
Right.
I'll stop drinking, everything's going to be normal again. Alcoholism is extremely complex, and so he was like 90 and 90. He didn't really care about my feelings. He's like, I'm here to help save your life. And, I'd call up complaining. He'd be like, what action have you taken? What are you doing to stay sober? And, what I learned early on is what I feel blessed by, because, to some extent, I feel blessed that having had strong sponsorship, that they were really quick about, I was complaining to him one night, and he goes, okay, go drink. I'm like, what? He goes, then go be of service. And I was all whining, and I was all full of me. And he's like, alcoholism at its root is about being selfish and self-centered to the extreme and making everything about me. And if everybody would change, I would be fine. And the reality is, in order for me to stop drinking and to live a spiritual life, or live life, one, I got to have to really get a relationship with God, which is scary because I was not on speaking terms with God when I came in the door. And I found out the reason I wasn't on speaking terms with God was because I had some issues about people that had been in my life that had just been spiritually sick, if you will, about their influence in my life.
Yeah.
And I realized God did want a relationship with me. He did love me, regardless of the faith. Whoever, there's tons of different faiths that come into Alcoholics Anonymous.
Mhm.
And once I really got through that and I realized and I started to believe and trust, I ended up having like 90 days sober. And I could not believe I was 90 days sober. That just blew my mind.
Yeah, buddy.
And things just kept getting better to some extent. Now, 14 months in, I hadn't really done anything different. And I hit a second bottom because I wouldn't really follow the principles of pausing, praying, asking for God's input in all of my life.
Right.
Really looking at my defects where I was selfish, where I wanted things my way, where I was trying to control. And once I started taking the different actions to not be in control, to really let God run, to really trust y'all, be of service, think about what's really going on, the bigger picture, take a step back, don't make it about me.
Yeah.
I started having peace in my life.
Yeah.
So
how long? I don't mean to cut you off. How long have you been sober?
24 years.
Wow.
And it's just hit your 24-year anniversary, what, 2 days ago, a day ago?
Yeah, I saw it was October 13th, 97 when I came in the doors.
Wow.
And people are like, man, you were so young. I'm like, I had my butt kicked really hard.
Yeah.
I mean, I was done.
Yeah.
And I see people come in, and sometimes people they're sent by the courts, so they don't take it serious. And sometimes, people joked with me when I first came in saying, man, you got it easy compared to how we had it back in the 70s and 60s, 50 or 50, whatever, because they were really dry about, we are here to save lives. If you're not interested, tear your ass and go get more.
Yeah.
They were not playing around. And I see sometimes today, I mean, that sometimes, people come in with a court order, whatever, and they just don't take it real serious.
Right.
And either you're done or you're not done. If you're really done and you're willing to do the work. And one of the things that worked for me was I prayed for the willingness to do what I don't want to do.
Yeah.
Because the steps go against how I want to live life to some extent. I'm selfish.
Yeah.
And when I started praying for the willingness to do what I don't want to do, I became teachable and realized I didn't know how to live life. God forbid like when I'm talking to Brandon offline, God forbid I come to Brandon and tell him I'm scared about something. Tell him I don't understand something. How do I handle the situation? I'm a man or whatever. I should be able to handle it. And it was a lot of breaking down and figuring stuff, asking for y'all, really letting people see me. I was afraid of showing y'all really who I am because I was afraid you were going to reject me because I rejected myself for the longest time. And the big thing for me was really getting honest with y'all about who I am and letting you get to know me when I didn't even know me. It was scary growing up in public. I'm telling y'all stuff that I don't understand that's going on in my head. And as I did that, I felt relief from the disease. And I felt like man, I'm actually breathing, and I feel that release and that pressure, and I didn't have the need to drink. So,
anyway, I have a question for you.
Go ahead,
Michael. If you noticed 24 years is quite a while. Have you noticed a difference in the way the program of AA is ran now in comparison to what it was 24 years ago? Have you watched improvements, maybe some things that have been sort of a backstep? I mean, we're not trying to knock anybody, but I'm just curious, like, what have you learned from that over the time? And what have you had any situations where, because I know you're a sponsor, some experiences that you've had in contact with some of these people that you've helped to sponsor and those that you've seen in the running and in your time there, what have been some of the things that you've noticed that you picked up on and said, you know what, I see a pattern here that's working, and I see some things that aren't working? You 24 years, do you have anybody that's been with you, say 10 or 15 years in this journey alongside you that has also maintained the same strength as you? And have you seen something in them and that you have done that has been effective, that has allowed you to stay on track? Can you share anything like that with us? Absolutely.
There's quite a few people actually that, ironically, I'll celebrate. I celebrated in Georgetown here recently. And one of the group in Dallas. And the ironic thing, the reason it's kind of home group to some extent for me. There are still people that were there when I first got there that still attend that group. Yeah. And there's like a spiritual mom that I have that she's known me since day one, and she got sobered up in '93. And so yeah, they said stick with the winners when you come in the deal, which is kind of hard going, okay, who's the winner, you know? My mind's all kind of clouded. And me and her just become, we just clicked from the start, being you just have built a really strong friendship. And, there's people, so I think the challenge we run into is you're going to sometimes have a weak meeting where people are just not, for whatever reason, depending upon how they were sponsored, their level of recovery, of how much work they've done, not knocking anyone, it may just not have the same strength as other meetings.
Right. Just less substance.
And I've known people that they'll leave AA because they blame their relapse on AA and join another group. And one guy showed up and was showing statistics at a treatment center one time, and I thought, oh, this is interesting. And because in the treatment center, when you're taking a meeting, you're supposed to stick only to the book and the basic text of Alcoholics Anonymous. And I told him afterwards, we had some brief dialogue, and I basically said, okay, guys, if anything he said in here, which he basically was talking about certain things that he didn't agree with that were in AA, that he was going to a different program. And I'm like, I'm not interested in trashing any program. What worked for him, great. Right. But don't bash that. And I challenged him in there, and he didn't like me too much. And I just said, look, guys, what he's bringing up isn't in the big book, but I will tell you my experience, strength, and hope. And so, or I said, if what he's sharing is not found in the big book, then please dismiss it. And if anything I'm sharing is not found in the big book, please dismiss it. We have a big book, it's called Alcoholics Anonymous.
Yeah, the blue book.
Right. So, but every group has a different flavor. It's just the way it is. Alcoholics, a variety, as the book says, people that normally would not mix. And they're common bond, common solution. The one thing I say for people is, there's probably there's one the other night, there's probably 10, 15 people easily that, some people online that have long-term and more time than me. And they had more time than me when I came in the doors, and they're still around, which is a testament, because people said, why do people keep going to meetings? Well, it's kind of like, why do people keep going to church? Yeah. It's like, I need the reminder. I like being around other people to remind me of what, the challenges I'm going to face lifelong. I don't necessarily have, for the most part, life is pretty even keel for me. And yet I also go there to be service, help others, someone that's new, that is struggling. It's like, okay.
What I like about that, what you just said, being surrounded by people that have been there with you longer. Yeah. And honestly, knowing your own track record is, it's a message of hope. There's a lot of people out there, Rich and I've had a lot of discussions about relapse. I've checked our TikTok, we have our TikTok is the Recovering Addict. And, I see a lot of people doing videos out there about just bawling, and they're just distraught because they are just going through a relapse. Right. And you can see the shame, and they're sharing their story of their shame. And they say, I did it again. And they just feel so down in the doldrums about it. And I think a lot of people feel like, that's a reflection on their race, the marathon they're running, every time they fall back, they feel like they failed at all, but what's exciting though, to me, is to meet people like yourself. You are honestly you're the only guest we've had on here who has had the amount of successful longevity in this journey than anybody we've ever had. And you also are testifying to the fact that you've been surrounded by others that have accomplished the exact same thing. Right. So what that means to me is it's possible, and that's what we want to be able to tell people, because You know, we're not just here to shift your perspective, but we are here to give you a message of hope that it is possible to stay sober. You know what I mean?
I've had some dark times. I've had
dark
times.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. I'm sure that journey has not been a smooth ball, you know, full ball of cherries. But
see, this is what the Recovering Addict podcast is about. I mean, we, of course, we get on here and we try to have a good time, make it entertaining, and we, play with each other and stuff like that. But what you just shared, Michael, is the substance of this particular show, and that's the type of stuff that puts fuel. It lets people who are watching, who are addicts, it just gives them some hope. Like if he can do it, I can do it. And that's what this show is about, man. It's like, so that's why I'm just sitting here listening, just soaking in for, you say, 24 years of sobriety.
It was hilarious. There's a lady at treatment center, I remember, she was having the hardest time getting sober. I'll never forget, because me and my sponsor, we were there, and she's like, well, if I get a year, will y'all be there? We're like, sure. And she showed up one time, I'll never forget, walking her up the steps. She was drunk as a skunk. And she drove into the meeting and walked her up the steps, walked her in, sat her down in the meeting. And then I left. And a year later, she'd had like 2 heart attacks, and she was celebrating 1 year. Probably was like, what, mid-50s maybe? Yeah. And I don't care how long it takes you to get there, just get there.
Just get there.
And then, there's no shame, while relapse doesn't have to happen, it does happen for people.
Yeah, and
it
does. Yeah,
just like I'm human,
Right.
Just because I didn't drink doesn't mean I don't have other flaws.
Right.
And
that's
just realized, I knew a guy here recently that he had 20 plus years, and he's back around, and he's been back for several years now. He's probably one of the most humble guys, and he came back. He messed up, he came back, and he owned it. And that gives me hope.
Yeah, that's that right there. The weight that is on a person who relapsed, somebody who's truly trying to recover, and then they relapse, the weight is heavy. I know it's heavy, and it's almost like you like I'm sure some people got to the point where I got where I started to doubt the fact that I would ever be able to recover. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and the more you relapse, I mean, it gives you strength because because you made it through it. Hey, I can keep on fighting. But at the same time, mentally, it will mess with your psyche. You know what I'm saying? And so, relapse. Go ahead.
I don't know that I have another sobering up in me. So that's part of what keeps me motivated to stick around. Plus, about 15 months into the deal, when I started doing things different, and my first sponsor sort of fired me. Long story, but I just wasn't doing anything he suggested. He said, okay, figure it out for yourself. And I set out to prove this deal didn't work, that I could not have the peace that everybody else had. And I started taking the little actions, the little suggestions, and I got a little tiny bit of peace that I could not deny. And for the next 2.5 years, I was doing 90 and 90. I was doing Al-Anon. I was doing therapy. And there's also an outside group that I was doing, men's circle that I was doing once a week. So I basically spent probably 40 hours a week in recovery minimum. Yeah. And for the next 2.5 years, and people think, really have to do that much work. Well, everybody's situation is different.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do what it takes for you to get where you want to be.
Yeah.
Where you feel like God's leading you.
Right.
To have that peace. Don't stop. We say expect a miracle. Don't stop before the miracle.
Right.
Lean in. It's going to be uncomfortable, but you're not alone. You are never, ever alone.
Yeah.
People have to realize there's thousands, there's millions of other recovering alcoholics alongside, or billions probably at this point, alongside that person helping. And it's been so crazy with the Zoom thing, how you meet people from other countries that come in and talk, and you hear their story, you hear their experience drinking hope. That's the beautiful thing about it. And it's I hear people who say, oh, it's a cult. Okay, sorry, last time I checked, it's not like people are stalking me. They literally just say, you know, if you want what we have, do what we're doing. You want to come alongside, come alongside. And there's no pressure. It's like they just want to love on you. And that's it. You know, it's that. Anyway, so
we're gonna pause for a minute. For just a quick second.
Sure.
Just to do a quick commercial, right quick. Let's see here. YouTube. Hello, guys. Hello, audience out there. Those that are watching, please go subscribe to our channel, the Recovering Addict Podcast. And if and when you do subscribe, you are instantly in this contest right here. Every 500 subscribers that we get, we're going to pick a lucky winner to get either $200 of cash or $200 Amazon gift card. You choose, whatever you choose. Giveaway every 500 subscribers. Guys, go subscribe. Let's get back into this thing right now because this is some good stuff, Dallas.
Yeah.
Why the name Dallas? Where did the name Dallas come from?
Brandon knows.
So we have other social media group that we're a part of that I started back in January, and we have people from all over the world. And so one of the guys, his name's Carl. He's out in England, and so he kind of like has nicknames for people, and so he started calling him Dallas because it's sort of, you know, across the ocean thing. He's trying to. He identifies everybody based on geographic a lot of times.
I think I put down Dallas. Like we were talking one day, I'm like, I don't feel like putting down Michael. I'm just going to put down Dallas. And next thing I know, it's like he starts calling me Dallas. It's like, no, I think the one thing I like to impress upon people, because I mean, I do sponsor people and work with them, and you know, it's like I said, everybody's got their different journey. Really, everybody has their own journey. And it was funny because this one guy was, you know, this guy celebrated the other night. Just for people that are older, and I say older in the sense that I'm, you know, 47. And this gentleman the other night, I think he was 63, I think. And he was looking forward to the fact that he's got like, I think 9 years at this point. I could be wrong. I think 9, but something like he was saying, whatever the age, he's going to be like 70 something with a certain number of years and looking forward to that. Yeah. But the fact that he started, it doesn't matter. I've seen people start at all ages. Yeah. And, you know, God, regardless of your faith, wants to love on you. He wants to have a relationship with you. And there's one thing I like to tell people is that it's never too late for that. Right. It doesn't matter what. I've seen people with all kinds of crazy stories come in. That's the other thing. People come in and they're like, oh, I've got this deep, dark secret and it's just blocking me and I have all this pain. And I gotta tell you, I've heard some crazy stuff. At the end of the day, half the time I could care less about what you've done. Right. My concern is your heart. And that's what I've experienced with my sponsors is like, oh, what's going on in your heart? You know, what's going on? What caused you to do what you did? What motivated you? What were you running? What was the fear that was driving you? And they helped me dig into fear because half the time I can't figure it out. I kept drinking at my feelings because I never understood why I drank, you know, to some extent. And then, you know, and then it's like people think, okay, once you figured it out, then you're not alcoholic. Well, no, because being alcoholic, once I start, I don't have a shut off. The allergy along with the mental obsession, and I'm total. Yeah. So, so what I tell people is that, you know, you clean up the past, which is great. It doesn't stop me from necessarily being alcoholic. Right. I still have the alcoholic thinking. The other day I was having some beverage. I forget what it is. I think I've got one here, but it was goofing with my head because I was drinking quite a few of them. And I'm like, okay, I need to like stop for a second because it was messing with my mind. I went through like 5 or 6 of them. And I was like, okay, I know I'm thirsty, but okay, this is a bit much.
So you were basically killing it as if it was an alcoholic drink.
Right. It was messing with my head.
So let's talk about that for 1 second.
Sure.
Mental health, because what we try to preach that addiction and mental health run hand in hand, and as I've studied it, it does. So in regards to what you've seen in you know, in the meetings and stuff like that. How can you you know, explain to us in regards to mental health? Can you explain to us how you personally, and you've seen other people, their mental health become better once they, you know, once they go into recovery? Do you notice it? Do you notice, you know, mental health problems with certain people? I mean, I want to talk about that for a minute. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does, because I've actually struggled a little bit. Back, I don't know, 8 years ago, I was having insomnia, if you will. And I wasn't sleeping really well, and it kind of caught up to me and got me horribly depressed. And I was really on the fence about life. And I was in a bad spot, a really bad spot. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I'm sober and I'm in the worst spot ever. I mean, and I told my boss, I called him one day. I'm like, okay, I'm worthless to you. I'm gone probably for about 2 weeks. I don't know. And so I called my sponsor, took some additional action. And, you know, I won't go into the horrible details with it, but necessarily, but we said I ended up over at my sister's, called my doctor, said, okay, I've been up for 40 hours solid.
Damn.
I need you to knock my butt out somehow. Yeah. And they knew I wasn't crying wolf. And I got in and I saw a therapist, and they said, well, look, we think you've always struggled with clinical depression to some extent, major or mild. And you probably, and it was, I took ownership of it. I think it's one thing that's big, you know, is I don't have anything. I'm good. I don't really have it that bad. Or other people have it way worse. So I can't have that issue.
Right.
You know, because they show it differently. Well, you can't compare my insides to someone's outsides, because that never works. When I do that, it messes me up. And so, because I'll think, oh, they're doing great. They're doing way much better than I am. When that person could be doing horrible on the inside, they're just showing a big facade on the outside.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And then the other thing is they're in worse shape. So I can't be that bad off. Yeah. It goes both ways. And so once I owned it and I got my sleep schedule figured out, I literally, it was kind of God coming back, because literally, I mean, I'll tell you, this disease is cunning, baffling, and powerful. And it's no joke. Yeah. And it had a really strong grip on me for a second. Yeah. And it really almost took me out. It was probably the worst than my, you know, hit a bottom, and as far as mentally.
Because you said you had I'm sorry to interrupt you, but you had told me the other day that you do go to therapy too on top of what you do, right? I mean,
no, I don't do therapy right now. No.
Oh, I thought you said in the past.
Yeah, I've done some therapy. Yeah. I did outside therapy. You know,
it help?
I had issues around my stepdad. I had issues around my father.
And did that give you did that bring clarity and help to get you to sort through those things?
Yeah, it absolutely did. And I'll tell you, sometimes people, you know, I've seen people go to therapy for years and years and years, and whatever, teach their own. Whatever works for each person's great. Or people say, I've been in therapy, nothing's working. It's like, you know, therapy is work. You know, I have to be willing to lean in and being uncomfortable and really stretch myself for therapy to be effective. And I found, I did some work outside and it was helpful. I also did something called Mankind Project. It's called mkp.org. Not this or get a huge plug, but it was an area where it was a circle of men where it helped me really give out. I mean, I had horrible rage and rage that really kind of scared me. And not like I ever hurt anybody, but I'd, you know, punch walls, I'd punch this, that, the other inanimate objects. And it helped me have an outlet to help process it. And my sponsor had recommended it when I was like 18 months. So yeah, mental health is huge. It's taking ownership, not being shamed by it. Don't be shamed by mental health.
That's it. That's it right there. I mean, a lot, especially men, are ashamed to go to therapy or even, you know, be associated with, you know, somebody that has a mental health problem. And that is what I believe is one of the main reasons why people are not recovering in regards to mental health, because of what's that word you use, Brandon, all the time? The stigma. You know, you say, hey man, I've been struggling with depression, or I've been, you know, struggling with insomnia. I've been struggling. That once you put that word out, people feel like they look, like you're looked at differently. And that right there is the reason why, why people don't move forward in regards to recovery. So go ahead.
And also really too, when you think about just the physiological, mental, emotional makeup of men are very different than women in a lot of ways, because we compartmentalize our life. We tend to push things down when we're going through stuff. We tend to feel like that opening up or letting our emotions out on our sleeve and letting others see our emotions is somehow emasculating us, which is a bunch of load of crap, because truthfully there's nothing wrong with us sharing our emotions, so when we can get past, like you said, the stigma, we can get past and get that paradigm shift, change that perspective, and realize, hey, look, you know what, it is way better for me to put my business out there in front of a professional that can help walk me through all the crap that I've been going through. Way better to do that than for me to just go through some embarrassment, because embarrassment you're going to get past, but you may not get past what you're going through emotionally. The more and more and more you squeeze it and you push it down and you push it down some more, and so you're right. It's a hand in hand thing. It's mental health, and of course, obviously, the dedication to some kind of recovery. And yes, you're right, Michael. We're not plugging any particular program, but it is exciting to me to hear that the AA program has worked for you, that Al-Anon has been beneficial to you as well. So kudos to that program for sure.
I think also the encouraging thing for me when I hit that second bottom, there was a guy named Dale that had showed up to the meeting, and he's gay and got the rest of his soul. He's passed away. He was huge and pivotal in my life, just from the standpoint that he came in and started talking about feelings and started talking about the stuff that was like, I guess I finally opened my ears to some extent, but he talked so raw and so real, and it was so encouraging. And I started hearing a couple other people talking really, really raw about feelings, about feeling less than, that they didn't feel like they mounted. He got, I'll never forget, I think Dale got a DWI sitting in a car that didn't move.
What?
What? I think something like, he got a public attack. He's like, man, this is the only time I've ever gotten that much trouble. The car didn't even run. But he was, and he was my second sponsor, and people were just like, the funny thing was, people were like, well, he's gay, and I was cracking up because I'm like, he relates to me just from the standpoint of my past. I went through a tremendous amount of abuse, and that was stuff that I had not really been willing to dive in and look at, and yet he had been through similar. And so he helped me really. I just started talking to him every day about stuff, and he really helped me start walking through that. And then I realized the sponsor I have now, which I felt a unique attraction to begin with, he was like the dad I always wanted. And he was really, I would say he works a really strong program. He's very kind of soft spoken, and I can always hear when he's talking to me that he's talking in a loving way. That he is like, look, I'll say, I'm having a struggle. I'm not sure what to do. Yeah, you do. You know what to do. But sometimes I sounded out with it. But yeah, I mean, mental health, I think the biggest thing was, hearing other people share in meetings and really opening up and listening. And then I talked to those people afterwards about their struggle. I'll be like, okay, I'm kind of struggling too. So it gave me encouragement, hearing people be transparent, because sometimes people go into a meeting, it's just about, it's honestly, Alcoholics Anonymous talks very minimally about alcohol, unless you're at a newcomer meeting. It's more about what's going on and what do you do? What actions are you doing to help yourself?
And really, really honing in on what drove you to want to do what you're doing. You're having to identify that. And really be real with yourself.
Man, bro, we could be here. We could be here for a while, bro. We could be here for a while with this stuff, man.
But we do need to wrap it up.
Let's go ahead and wrap it up. Wow, man, Mr.
Thank you so much, Michael. I appreciate you being with us.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's good stuff, guys. Once again, if you are watching the Recovering Addict podcast, first off, I want to say you can recover. Recovery is possible. Okay, so just get up and go start the fight. Second off, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Okay, this is 5. We're trying to get 500 subscribers 1,000 subscribers, 1 million subscribers. So we're gonna
There you go.
we're gonna give $200 for every 500 subscribers that we get. Okay, and once we get 1 million subscribers, then we're just gonna retire and just do the Recovering Addict show. Every single day we will do a Recovering Addict show. Okay, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you, Michael. We appreciate it, guys. And please do remember, you are not alone. Have a good day.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.